So the LA Rams have won the Super Bowl despite being down in the fourth quarter, but how did they do it? Let's talk about it. And also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. So yeah, as we all saw, the Rams defeated the Bengals in the Super Bowl 23-20 in what was another amazing game in this year's playoffs. Now, I told you all before, I really like both teams. I just wanted a close game, and boy, did we get exactly that. I mean, to start the game, it actually wasn't looking that good for the Bengals, as they didn't have any rhythm to start out, and the Rams offense looked amazing as OBJ caught a touchdown. They went up 13-3 in the second quarter after Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp 11-yard touchdown. One surprising thing was seeing Jalen Ramsey get burned a few times, but we'll talk more about that later. But as we saw, the Bengals would answer down 13-3 with a 75-yard drive to make the game 13-10 because the Rams actually missed their extra point after a botched snap after their second touchdown. So we went into halftime with a 13-10 close game. The second half, well, that started with a 75-yard one-play touchdown with T. Higgins getting a catch over Jalen Ramsey. And yes, it should have been an offensive pass interference call, but there was also a missed holding call on Ramsey in the first half, so kind of whatever. As we would all see, it would actually work out in the end anyway. After this though, Matthew Stafford would throw another interception, but the Bengals were held to just a field goal, and this to me was the changing point in the game. The Bengals had all the momentum. They had scored 14 unanswered, and they had the ball in Rams territory after an interception, but Aaron Donald and the Rams defense stepped up big and held the Bengals to a field goal, making the game 20-13 Cincinnati. But we saw OBJ go down with a gruesome non-contact injury, and this really made the Rams offense struggle for the most part in the second half. I mean, they kept trying to run the ball, but it just was not working out at all most of the game. But the Rams did manage to get a field goal with 5 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter, cutting the lead to 20-16. Then we just wouldn't see much offense from either team the rest of the game. I mean, the Bengals had plenty of chances to run the clock down more, score again, but the offensive line just completely failed them. Now again, the Rams have an incredible defensive line, so it's no easy challenge, but all playoffs long, the Bengals offensive line has just struggled, and they finally collapsed in the second half as their offense was completely shut down after this point. I mean, Burrow was constantly under duress, and if he didn't throw the ball out immediately, like split second, then he was getting sacked. And the Bengals got yet another sack record in the Super Bowl, but not the one you want to have. They gave up the most sacks all time in a Super Bowl, and this is what the Rams needed. They got the ball back with a little over 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. They went for it in their own territory on 4th and 1 and got it on a jet sweep to Cooper Kupp. They would put together a 15-play, 79-yard drive to march down the field and score the game-winning touchdown. In the end of the drive, though, I mean, numerous fouls on both sides of the ball, but some questionable ones on the Bengals for sure. I mean, the second holding call on Cooper Kupp, that was obvious. That was definitely a holding call. But the first one, I mean, it was kind of sketchy. I mean, it didn't make any sense why they would call that after all game they were letting them play, quote unquote. But alas, Matthew Stafford would go to the best wide receiver in the game, Cooper Kupp, and they would score a touchdown, putting them up 23-20. Now, the Bengals did have over a minute and 2 timeouts remaining, but yet again, they just couldn't block the Rams defense. And to me, though, it was honestly mind-blowing that the Bengals, when they got that 9-yard gain on the last drive with a little over a minute left, they had 2nd and 1, they went hurry up instead of calling a timeout. And I get they wanted to save their 2 timeouts, but to me, if you're not going to throw it out of bounds, just call the timeout. You have 2, and you can always spike the ball later on down the field. I mean, they wasted almost 20 seconds on that play, and everything would unfold after that. All they had to do was call a timeout, set up a great play to keep the drive going, and I'm sorry, but that was just terrible clock management by the Cincinnati staff. I think that really cost them the game. I mean, a lot of things cost them the game, most notably their offensive line, but definitely that management at the end, and just the play calling decisions. I mean, they ran the ball, got stuffed, and then as you know, they put themselves in 4th down where Aaron Donald himself blew past the blockers to force Burrow to just throw up the ball, and it was game over. Now, to be fair, this was a really close back and forth Super Bowl. It was really fun to watch, really entertaining, but I feel bad for Cincy fans. They really did have a chance to win this game. I mean, it was in their hands, but there were just some questionable coaching decisions in the second half and the fourth quarter. At the same time, though, congrats to the Rams. They seemed kind of lost after losing OBJ, and Stafford threw 2 interceptions, but they showed a lot on that game-winning drive, and of course, the defense did what it had to do, and they really dominated in the second half at the line of the scrimmage, and they sealed the game. So my overall thoughts, I thought it was an amazing Super Bowl. I mean, it was a really great way to end this season. I mean, we had a historically fantastic playoff with, all the super close last-second games. It's just a shame that we had all those penalties at the end. I mean, we barely had any penalties the whole game, so getting all those right at the end was really weird and kind of awkward, but, again, the Bengals botched their clock management. I mean, they could have went down on that last drive, at least tied up the game, showed us a really cool overtime, but, overall, like I said, it was a really good Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, OBJ OBJ and Aaron Donald finally have their Super Bowl rings, and congrats to all the players on both sides for amazing seasons. But let me know what you thought about this game in the comments down below. Did your team win? Did they lose? And what did you think about the last 6 minutes of the game? How crazy it was. Also, very cool halftime shows, a lot better than a lot of other years. But I will say, if the Bengals get a good offensive line around Joe Burrow, watch out, because that's really the only thing that team's missing. And for the Rams, can they repeat? It's definitely possible. Aaron Donald might retire though. That would be a huge loss for them, but let me know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl next year. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to have a lot of videos coming out soon about the off season, so stay tuned. As always, everyone, I'll see you in the next one.